So one thing that I'm noticing a lot of times on your guys' lunges is you guys are pushing and the foot is ending up rolled here, okay? One of the reasons I don't like this is because that means you're not fully engaging your foot. If I push and roll here, then what's happened is I've engaged this part of my leg, but I'm losing out on the explosive power that I can get from my ankle. Not only that, I'm losing out on the explosive power I can get from my toe. So instead what we want to do, and why when I'm lunging I'm ending up like this, is because after my knee is done engaging, when I'm pushing, I am then using my calf to push a bit more. Then after that, I'm using my toes. So I'm using the whole chain in my leg, and it's kind of going one, and then as soon as that one finishes, the next one engages, and the next one engages. Now, an exercise that we can do that will help this is first, we're just gonna start by doing little calf raises, okay? But I don't want you to raise all the way up using your toes. You're just gonna separate that segment going up a little bit. Okay, once you get that down, then you're gonna start to use your full toe, but you want it to be one right after the other. Now we're gonna get in a squat position. What's gonna happen is we're going to push up from your squat. Nice and simple, right? We're just engaging this part of the legs, we're pushing up. Now you're gonna engage this part of the legs, and when you're tall, you're gonna engage those calves, but not the toes yet. So we're starting here, we're pushing up, and we're going into those calves. So here, up into the calves. Now what we wanna do is now we're gonna engage those full toes, and you're gonna feel the explosive difference. So we're gonna go here, engaging the legs, engaging the calves, and then the toes. And now what's gonna happen when you do this is it's gonna be hard to not jump. You're gonna wanna kind of spring up. So this type of spring is the same motion that we're getting on our lunge. So when you're not doing your lunge this way, you're essentially only getting these muscles, which means you're only exploding from that top part. Or you're only exploding from that top part and the foot, but you want to be able to explode from all of it. So now when we lunge, instead of just going like this and missing the use of half of our muscles, we want to go to here and end on that tip of the foot. That's how I know that I've used all the muscles. Now what we can also do is engage those hips. So when we've pushed here and we're essentially like a whip, where it's like one movement chains into the next and chains into the next, we're starting that movement here, we're pushing to those calves, pushing to the toe, and then engaging that torso and that lean to get a little bit of that extra distance and that full explosive power. Another thing that can help you guys, so I notice a lot of times when people do this type of lunge, what'll happen is they'll kind of like fall over and lose balance. So I don't like to line my feet up perfectly straight like a lot of people do on a line. I have my left foot out a little bit, my right foot out a little bit. Now something else that I do is I don't point my toe forward. I take almost the inside of my big toe and I have that facing towards my opponent, so I point my toe slightly towards the right to open my hips up. Then I lunge slightly to the right. What this does is it helps me stay kind of more stable like a tripod. And what it also does is my sword still goes straight and it gets my body offline, and it's really easy to stay balanced this way because now when I'm pushing, if my feet were here and I were to do that, I'm kind of like pushing myself over. Versus by going here, I'm keeping this nice, stable triangle. So another issue that I'm seeing on this lunge is once people are here, they're having a hard time getting this push, and it's usually because their torso is either hanging over their hips this way or over their hips this way. So when you do these lunges, your torso needs to stay above your hips. Almost you don't want to let your chest pass your legs too much. And so our center of balance is not changing at all when I lunge. So there's a difference between changing your weight distribution and changing your center of balance into a lean. And so you want to keep nice and upright, keep your chest above your hips so that when you do this, you can get that push without falling over. So another issue that I'm seeing is you guys are just kind of hopping and bringing that back foot up, okay? What's happening here is I'm essentially just jumping. I'm getting too much airtime, right? It's almost like you're like ollie-ing on a skateboard, right? So I don't really want to do that. I want my back leg to stay straight. The issue that's happening is you guys are kind of exploding and then you're just like hopping and bringing the leg back, which means that you're still not engaging your foot properly. Think about it in one motion to another motion, to another motion. So when I'm going here, once I get to here and I go into this motion, my leg is staying straight, but I'm essentially making it shoot me into a leap. So when I go here, I don't want to go one and then the other. This leg is staying straight. I'm focusing on that full expansion and then leaping off that last part. So it needs to stay straight. It's not here, it's just here. So keep that leg straight, so when you push, you are still kind of hopping off that leg.